Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
Hey, welcome, my friends, to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it is politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. On today's conversation, another well-notable Georgia Republican has now announced that he is switching to the Democratic Party. That's right. Never thought I would ever witness that in my lifetime, to see a Georgia Republican, a former elected Georgia Republican, to leave the party, not only leave the party, but to become a Democrat. Wow. So we're going to talk about it more here on the show. Also, a Maga star, Alex Stein, recently crashed an Msnbc broadcast. We'll talk more about that to see the real reason why so many folks in MAGA land is cheering this dude on. And then also former Vice President Kamala Harris. She recently was on the Stephen Colbert show, and she said some words that quite frankly frustrated the majority of the Democratic Party. And so we got a lot of stuff we're going to talk about here on the Arrington Gavin Show. But as always, my friends, thank you so much for taking 1 hour of your time to tune in to yet another great episode here on the Arrington Gavin Show. I am your friend, your homie, Arrington Gavin, coming to you on this wonderful evening. So much to impact. Hope you all have been having a great day. I know I have. The weather's a little gloomy, but hey, can't complain. It's starting to creep down to the 70s over in my home turf. So I can't complain. 75, 76, that's my ideal temperature. So we're going to have a good time today. I do not have a fun fact, nor do I have a Black Excellence report to give you all today, because like I said, there's so much stories that I want to cover with you all. So we want to have as much time as we can for that. Before we move forward to our commercial break, as always, my friends, follow us on all social media platforms. You can follow us at the Arrington Gavin Show on Instagram, Blue Sky, X, formerly known as Twitter, as well as on Substack. So you can follow us on those social media platforms. In addition to that, you can also check out our awesome website, www.theagshow.com. That is www.theagshow.com. Let me go ahead, for those who happen to be watching us right now, put that on the screen. So there's our social media platforms, all under the same name, at the Arrington Gavin Show. And then boom, there's our website right there, www.theagshow.com. Feel free to visit us. Visit our website. You can follow up on our recent episodes, as well as just, if you would love to contact me, send me an email, send me a shout out, all that good stuff. You can hit me up through our website and email me personally. So that is our website, set our platforms, our social media platforms. For those who happen to be streaming us right now on our YouTube channel, do me a favor, please like and subscribe, and share with a friend, share with family. I truly appreciate it. If you can continue to we want to get that message across. Multiple avenues, multiple platforms, we want to get in front of multiple faces. We want to be heard in multiple ears. We want everybody to find out about the Arrington Gavin Show. So be sure to, again, subscribe our channel. It helps with our algorithm, as well as just it helps with our build up our viewerships, as well as our subscribers. So we want to keep that momentum going. You can also subscribe You can also stream us on the GOATverse TV app. Okay, GOATverse TV app. It's available on the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire TV. Again, that is GOATverse TV. I'm proud to be a part of this amazing independent streaming channel. I'm one of many programs that's on that streaming channel. You have myself bringing in the politics and pop culture piece. You have shows like The Full Package, giving you music and songwriting, and it's a music competition show, giving you so many great independent artists. You have the Bare Naked Truth, which is a sit down exclusive one-on-one conversation. I mean, there's so many great programs on there. Again, you got to check it out, GOATverse TV. You can also listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts, wherever, Odyssey, Apple, what else? iHeart, Odyssey. We're available on all major podcast platforms. And then lastly, you can also listen to us on the radio airwaves. So if you happen to be in the couple selected markets that we are heard in, if you happen to be in the New Orleans area, you probably listen to us right now by way of WBOK 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, that's only on WBOK 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. Moving on to the Metro Atlanta region, you can listen to the Arrington Gavin Show Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's only on WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. Again, that is WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. And I believe that is my presentation for this evening. You're welcome. It's always a lot to remember in the beginning of every show. But again, I'm just always thrilled to have the conversation with you all, the listeners, the viewers out there. For those who've been supporting us since day one, I truly thank you. Please, as I mentioned earlier, keep that momentum going. We want to continue to grow our audience. We want to keep on giving that great content, that message out. Not just, fun content, not just informative content, but, hey, we get a little opinionated here and there. But it's a platform for all people. It's a platform for all people. All people are welcome. Anybody is welcome for great conversation. That's what we love to have here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Let me do this. We're going to take a quick commercial break, my friends. When we come back, we'll start off with our first story of the day. And yeah, we're going to get it going. So please do not go anywhere. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs. And we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
Hey, Dad, want to go for a walk?
Well, that'll help me get my steps in for the day. Gotta stay healthy and strong.
Bet you're healthier than me.
I'd like to keep it that way. Doc says I need to walk 10,000 steps a day. How long is that?
Don't know. How about you tell me a story instead of counting steps?
I could tell you about the house my father and uncle built for us.
That's a couple of thousand steps right there.
Staying connected keeps you going strong. Learn ways to stay happy, active, and independent at cdc.gov/stillgoingstrong.
Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. Let's get it going with our first headline. So I want to talk some more about this governor's race happening in the state of Virginia, my home state of Virginia, between well, it's actually three candidates. Let me correct myself. You have Democratic nominee, former Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger. You have Republican nominee Winsome Earl Sears, who's currently the lieutenant governor of the state of Virginia. And then you have independent candidate Miss Donna Charles, who's also running for governor. I had the honor of having her on my program, who had a great platform. Again, we talk mostly about third-party candidates running in these larger races. But she is one of the candidates running for governor of Virginia. But I want to this is mainly focused on Winsome Earl Sears, who's really been struggling, in my opinion, throughout this campaign season. A lot of different polling sites has had her in lower percentage numbers and having Abigail Spanberger at much higher numbers. Let me see here if I can. So just for example, I'm gonna try and find one right now. Okay, so this was a recent, the latest poll from United States elections prediction polls, right? It said here in a new poll for the 2025 Virginia gubernatorial race, once again shows former representative and Democratic candidate Abigail Spanberger leading the incumbent Winsome Earl Sears. They have Abigail Spanberger at 49% over Winsome Earl Sears 37%. So for one, this race started off extremely rocky. Why? Because the Republican Party alone could not get their ish together. They, for one, wanted their lieutenant governor nominee to leave the race because there was a apparent image that surfaced social media, which the candidate said is a bold-faced lie. It's some editing or something with that. That is not him at all whatsoever. He was defending his name. And me personally, I think it's more to it. Gentleman's name is John Reed. He is a conservative talk radio host out of Richmond. He's an openly gay conservative. And I personally think that is not the image. That's just in my honest opinion. I think that's not the image that the right wants. In my opinion, I thought they were shooting themselves in the foot because you have a ticket, one of the most diverse tickets from the Republican side, will be the first first Black elected female governor in Winsome Earl Sears. If elected, you have the first openly gay man elected, if elected, and then you have the incumbent Attorney General Jason Myers, who is a Latin American. And so when you see that, you're like, okay, wouldn't the right or what want to promote more diversity, but see, that's not their lane. But it would be a great strategy, wouldn't it? So it was so much issues with that. For one, they couldn't see eye to eye. I think it's still pretty rocky in my opinion. They're just now starting to go on their tours together. I've seen one of them doing it together, but each of them still do their campaign trail individually. But in addition to that, the state of Virginia is one of the biggest hubs for government workers, federal workers. And if you haven't realized, federal workers are the one that's getting hit the hardest. Why? Because they're getting there's cuts galore ever since Doge with the so-called wasteful spending. They've been laying so many people off. They've been cutting so many government fundings that have shown effect here in the Virginia area, in the state of Virginia. And then you on top of that, you have this big beautiful bill, which is not so beautiful in my opinion, leaving folks without health care. Who does that? So let's just say Winston Sears has a lot of talking and explaining to do, because she is a part of the problem. She is a part of MAGA. Let's just be point blank. She's openly and proud about that. That's not a lie or anything whatsoever. Now President Trump has yet to openly endorse Winston Earl Sears. Hopefully by the time y'all hear this, he might endorse her then, but it's been pretty rocky. This report right here by WUSA 9 shared President Trump is enormously unpopular in Virginia, which is very true. Political analyst says endorsement is a double-edged sword. Now, in the state of Virginia has been considered a purple state. Now, right now, you have the state house and state senate led by the Democrats. They're led by the Democrats. But the state house alone, I know, is just led by one. They have 1% over. It's like 51% of the majority, which is not a lot at all. So it's barely hitting that line. But the state is led by a Republican governor, a Republican lieutenant governor, and a Republican attorney general. So those figures right there are the majority. But then you go to U.S. senators. Both are U.S. senators, Democrats. Let me see. I haven't counted the number of Democratic Congress people. I just know as far as from my area at the moment. But they saying here is a double-edged sword for her. So even if she received that endorsement, I don't know if that will even help for majority Republicans, because does majority Republicans right now enjoy Trump? Do they enjoy the second term? The answer is no. Let me go ahead and share you this recent interview from Winston Earl Sears was on CNN speaking with one of their reporters, and the interview it did not go the way she wanted to. So let me go ahead and share that soundbite for you, and we'll talk on the other side.
The president's push to purge the federal workforce, has that been good for Virginia?
You know, I'm glad you asked this question, because your side, I'm assuming your side of the aisle, they keep talking about this. And you know what we've done in Virginia? We've created the 250,000 jobs I'm trying to get to talk about, that you wanted to talk about something else.
But what about the jobs that have been, do you support,
wait a minute.
do you support what they've done?
I'm trying to answer the question now. I'm trying to answer the question.
Please do. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So just 3 days ago, we had to send a letter to the Fairfax County chairman to say there was a company that was going to create 800 high-paying jobs, averaging 150,000, that would have offset federal jobs that you're talking about being lost. And yet, you know what, the Democrats who are in authority there, they said no. So it's which one do you want? You want to talk about jobs that are being lost when we can continue to create jobs?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was just curious if you supported the
Democrats.
I was just curious if you supported the president's the purge of the federal workforce, but I didn't hear an answer to that.
Have a talking point so that their candidate, Abigail Spanberger, can win.
No, I just want to know if you supported I was curious if you supported the president's purge of the federal workforce. That's all. I didn't get a clear answer on that. But I do want to turn to an issue that is also important to a lot of voters.
Clear answer, but you don't want to hear my clear answer because it's common sense.
So do you support the president's purge of the federal workforce? Yes or no?
Oh, okay. If this is the way you want to go, then go ahead. But I'm just not going to participate.
Has the president's push
What a hot mess. What a hot ass mess, y'all. Listen, I have lived in the state of Virginia all my life. To all the listeners from different parts, because we happen to be we have a national presence on this program. The state of Virginia is used to be a swing state, but it still is a big, it's a battleground state. It still is very much a important state when it comes to elections. Our state elections can really affect majority of the rest of the 49 states in the U.S. Winsome Earl Sears is somebody, in my opinion, who should have never been in this position from the first place. I'll just be honest. I wasn't a true fan of her. I've during the campaign season when Glenn Youngkin first got into office, and this is no disrespect to Winsome Earl Sears. She served our country. She built a successful career. Kudos to her, and I thank you for her service. I'm not saying I've never met her personally, but it was a turnoff for me when you first see the AR-15 photo. Like, okay, what does that mean? What does that really mean? So, of course, she's already been endorsed by the NRA. Shocker. The NRA endorses a Republican candidate? I never knew. Like they endorse the whole entire freaking party. But she has obviously skipped around. She skipped around answering the gentleman's question because she knows that is their kryptonite. Trump, this administration, for elected Republicans right now, that is their ultimate kryptonite. I've spoken personally with elected Republicans, and they know that it makes their job a lot harder, especially speaking with some of their constituents. She said that there was an individual who could have produced 800 high-paying jobs. 800 high-paying jobs. Now, if I look here, okay, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, quick facts, the resident population of Virginia, as of April 1st of 2020, was 8 million, or almost close to 9 million individuals. Now, yeah, close to 9 million individuals. So now she's saying that 800 new jobs. Just first of all, these are just positions that are open for all people, by the way, all people. So folks that are currently working at other positions, not even just federal workers, working at other positions, could apply for this so-called whatever business company was gonna open up. That is no guarantee that folks that lost their jobs would get a new high-paying job. So how is that helping defend or take care of the issue or onset that? It's not, Lieutenant Governor. It's not. So the fact that she says, if this is the game you want to play, let's play it. Like, please stop with the talking point. Stop with the skipping and running away from questions. All he asked was, do you support the government cuts? That's all you had to do. Yes or no? Yes or no? I don't know why that's so hard. Now, once again, staying silent makes you look even more guilty. Staying silent does not help. Avoiding the question does not help your case. Giving an answer actually does. Even if you would have said yes, I support. Okay, it might would have hurt you in the further in the election season, but at least you answer the question. I mean, goodness gracious, these folks out here not even answering questions, man. What is happening? So we get back to the issue happening in or just really with this election. As of right now, I'm predicting a possible, I'm gonna say this firsthand. I'm predicting a possible, potentially a blue wave. The way it's looking in the state of Virginia, like I said, the Democrats already have the majority by 1 point, by 1 seat in the House, I believe. They have the majority, want to say, in the Senate as well. This is not looking good in my opinion. For Winston Monroe Sears, for her lieutenant governor candidate John Reed, as well as for now possibly Jason Myers might win his reelection. I will say that he might win his, but it's difficult because I don't know how accurate it is, but I know I had recently saw that Jason Myers had posted that his opponent, Democratic nominee Jay Jones, was avoiding a televised debate with him. So I don't know how true that is, but and that's another thing too when it comes to strategy. And I'll ask you all, do you think that candidates should, whenever they're running for office and during their campaign season, should they accept invitations to sit down forums or some form of like debates with with their opposition, with other candidates, or should they avoid some of them? Because listen, on state level, local level, there's different organizations that are starting to host forums, sit downs, debates. They do that on a regular. I know in my home state, they had one, the local BLM organization hosted a debate between two House delegate candidates. On a local level, in one of the local cities, an individual, there were two city, a city position that is up this election on the local level, and they had a forum that was hosted by an organization that say might lean favoritism towards one candidate. Now, should that opposing candidate avoid showing, or should they go? Because yes, I can see if one side would show favoritism, and it might make the candidate look nervous or whatever. Me personally, I think if you sign up to run for office, personally, you can't run from a fight. You cannot skip a fight. You can't skip a battle. At the end of the day, it's about the people witnessing and getting to know you more, seeing if they can really put their trust and faith in you as a candidate, and then makes their decision a little easier come election time, come November. I'm just me personally. I'm not the person. I'm not a fan of avoiding debates or forums or anything like that. Even if you're not a good debater, I don't think it's good. I really don't. And I even said, even if you're not a good debater, because look, there's people that are great debaters that are crappy elected officials. Okay, I'll be honest. I have seen them. There are folks that are not great elected officials, but they're just good in debates. Okay. Now, how are they when it comes to decision making? policy, all that good stuff. See, it's so many different traits you have to do to become an elected official. Now, I'm no elected official, but I'm just saying, as for I know a lot of them. I read up on their reports. I look at their stat sheet. If I can put it in like sports terms, I look at their stat sheets and I'm like, okay, they've done this, they've done that. I see what you're doing. Let me digress from that case and moving on to another one. This right here I thought was quite interesting. So we're going to be pretty much talking about politics throughout the whole show. Recently, Kamala Harris, former vice president of these United States, former presidential candidate in the recent presidential race, had appeared on Stephen Colbert's show, and there was rumors that Kamala Harris could possibly make a bid again in politics, this time running for governor for the state of California. She has served in office for the state of California for many decades, U.S. senator, district attorney. What else was she? I know she was a U.S. attorney. She was not in Congress. District attorney. There was I'm blanking on the position, but I know district attorney and U.S. senator. So she's familiar with California politics. She's been a part of that conglomerate, if you want to say that, for many decades. That's what helped build her political career, was the state of California. So they were saying, okay, well, look, Gavin Newsom's term is up. It's looking most likely that he's eyeing a bid for president, to run for president of the United States. So this will be like an easy handoff for her. She's coming off an election, even though she lost. A lot of folks are, having the sympathy card, and California is the most liberal state in the United States, in my opinion. I think it's the most democratic state in these United States. So it'll be an easy cakewalk for her. But she had a different response when asked about, hey, are you going to be running for, would you be running for governor for the state of California? Here's what she told Stephen Colbert recently on the Stephen Colbert program, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
I made the decision that for now, I don't want to go back in the system. I think it's broken. I always believed that as fragile as our democracy is, our systems would be strong enough to defend our most fundamental principles. And I think right now that they're not as strong as they need to be. And I just don't want to, for now, I don't want to go back in the system. I want to travel the country. I want to listen to people. I want to talk with people. And I don't want it to be transactional where I'm asking for their vote. Recently, I made...
Okay, so a few takeaways I want to dissect that quote that she shared. She said that the system is broken. She said the system is broken. Now, I obviously, as an independent, the system been broken. Okay, the system has been broken for quite some years. But my issue with it is that, ma'am, you were a part of that system for decades. Yes, you had a great track record, but you were a part of that. So, like, why now? Why now are you saying the system is broken when again, there's people that should have been speaking up previously. I mean, I don't get it when they have these last minute moments where it's like, okay, I've put in all these years in the system, and now I'm gonna share really the true facts. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's almost like saying, well, are you implying that you possibly will want to leave the Democratic Party? Because look, press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre had left the Democratic Party and said she was, an independent. She was the press secretary for President Joe Biden and had been a Democrat for years. Kamala Harris is saying the system is now. Look, now to play a little devil's advocate, I can see her point by saying this, because to her, she might have felt betrayed, backstabbed, because really there were a lot of Democratic elites that did not want her as their candidate for, or their presidential nominee. They didn't want it. But once again, y'all, we say, Democrats, why the hell did you skip over doing some form of a small primary, or at least giving an opportunity to other candidates, and you just skipped over and said, boom, give it to Kamala Harris? You can't, nobody should be handed anything. Now I get it, give her the opportunity to run, but don't just hand her the title. Don't just hand her the nominee. I think there should have been a lot more strategy within the party. I mean, I'm not going to go back and rewind, but we all know, hey, Joe Biden teased the idea of still running, and that hurt everything. And now, now you have a person who, look, y'all raised the most money and you still lost by a freaking 34 count convicted felon. One of the pettiest individuals America has ever witnessed, and he's back in office. Like, what are we doing, y'all? What are we doing? But a lot of folks on the left are quite not, are not quite happy with those remarks, because they feel as though that they pushed her and gave her the red carpet, and how could she say the system is broken after all of this and that? All I'm saying, let me see if I can read a little bit of this in contents. Let's see. So I'll share this and then I'll head to a commercial break. So Alyssa Farah Griffin, who is a co-host on The View, she is the conservative on the only conservative on The View. She and a former worked in the Trump administration. This is reported by The Hill. She shares everything that's wrong with Democrats. Okay, that's her quote. She weighed in on the former VP's appearance on Stephen Colbert's show, arguing the interview, her first appearance since losing to President Trump, represents everything that is wrong with the Democrats since November presidential race. She said, I was struck by, I'm going to try not to be harsh on this. The interview felt like a microcosm of everything that's wrong with the Democratic post-election. I'm going to CBS, and this sort of trying to make a point that they fire Stephen Colbert, which many of the left called an attack on democracy, a man who was making $20 million a year, someone I hold in high esteem, but the economics of his show were not working. Very true. I spoke about it on the program. Stephen Colbert's program had lost close to like 40 million in the previous year, and I think they lost it on they lost like $40 million. So if it don't make dollars, it ain't gonna make sense. Duh. She added on, he was losing 40 million a year. He was in the Ed Sullivan Theater, which is expensive, to talk about the plight of democracy at CBS, a network that is having its own struggles right now, rather than talking about the economics of the situation and playing to someone, complaining to something, a shrinking audience that is network television, not realizing it's not where the American voters are. She said, okay, the View Cole said this on the CNN's Table for Five. Because I was about to say, she said, I don't know if they will allow her to say that on the View, because that show is extremely liberal. CBS announced in mid-July that it was next thing. The Stephen Colbert show. Harris' appearance in the late night marked the first interview since losing to Trump in the last Oval Office race, an appearance where she promoted her upcoming book, 107 Days, which will detail her short-lived presidential campaign. 107 days. 107 days. You know what? Maybe that book is more. First of all, I get a little tired when everybody airs these books or writes these books, posts. Excuse me, I get it, but I'm not crazy about it. I look at it as a way for folks to obviously keep their name relevant in the public space. Another way for them to make money. There's been so many folks who has been putting out books. Jake Tapper, the former press secretary, now Kamala Harris is putting out a book. Now don't get me wrong, her book will have more higher ratings because of the who the individual is, but also the fact that she had 107 days. It's unheard of. It's really unheard of from a lot. Let's see here, my friends. We're gonna take a commercial break. Do not go anywhere. We have a lot more show for you here on the Arrington Gavin Show. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Geoff Learning Institute, LLC, is a hybrid learning center that strives to educate adults and children in all fields. During the day, we offer programs that are focused on developing students from pre-K to 12th grade, which includes tutoring, homeschool co-op, an after-school program, SAT, ACT prep, and many more engaging academic programs. Our adult education programs include workforce trainings, GED prep, life coaching, various seminars, and many more. Our vision is to train and educate in a positive way that will lead to a positive change in the world, one person at a time. For more information, visit us online at JazarenLearningInstitute.com or call us at 757-208-7407.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new GoVerse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of the app he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the show. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us, by the way. Recently, and I mentioned this in the beginning of the show, a former elected Republican, out of Georgia, recently announced that he is not just leaving the party, which I think he's not just leaving the party. Man, he is switching over to become a Democrat. Yes, you heard it here, folks. A Democrat. Let me go ahead and pull up the image for those who's watching. The gentleman, former lieutenant governor for the state of Georgia, Geoff Duncan, announced recently that he is switching from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party. Now, the former lieutenant governor was one of the Republican individuals that had spoken at the last at the most recent DNC. He had openly endorsed Kamala Harris for president of the United States. He spoke at the Democratic National Convention. I believe he's a contributor on CNN. But ever since he had announced that he had endorsed, and I think he might have endorsed Joe Biden in the previous election, but ever since he kind of started leaning more and supporting, ever since he started going moving further away from Trump, it has been a lot of hell for him, especially in the state of Georgia, one of the reddest states of all, by the way, the state that houses freaking Marjorie Taylor Greene. Good lord, that's a hot mess right there too. But yeah, ever since he had been leaning away from the MAGA group, he has not been getting any love from the Republican Party. I think they had permanently, they had basically kicked him out of the Republican Party in the state, even though he was still a registered Republican, he was a registered Republican that was not a Trump fan, so he openly endorsed a Democrat. But that's a big no for them. So they said, no, you gotta go. This is a report by Wave.org. Georgia former Republican Governor Geoff grew up a Republican in a Republican household in the Deep South, heavily red Forsyth County. He says that was the lens I looked through. He tells Wave's Morning Edition just hours after announcing that it's official. He's now a Democrat. He says, as I got elected starting in 2013 as a state representative and then a lieutenant governor, it just became so hard at times to try to figure out the right way to do the right thing as a Republican. He says, politics is not easy for any party, but for me, it was just a series of events, starting with how Republicans treated guns. Every time we had a gun conversation, it was kind of neglect what the masses want, and that's some sort of gun control. Here's the thing, buddy. That's how it's always been. The right is endorsed by the NRA. They help make the NRA millions and billions of dollars, okay? The NRA owns the Republican Party. You hear me? They fund the Republican Party. Why do you think folks always talk about it's time for for companies not to buy out Congress. It's time that we got to make some new laws. Let me tell you, the NRA is probably the most lucrative supporter and backing for the Republican Party. So of course they just brush it off the wayside because they don't care about all that gun control mess. Oh, it's not the guns that are dangerous, it's the people that have them. I mean, we can have that gun conversation another time because there's some truth to that. Then there's also some cop-outs, in my opinion, in that conversation. The reason why, because they asked why did he switch Republican and Democrat, Duncan made the announcement in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution opinion piece where he writes, "Loving my neighbor is easier now." He writes that his journey to becoming a Democrat started well before President Donald Trump falsely claimed the 2020 election was rigged in Georgia. While in office, he said he witnessed the shallowness of policies at the state and federal level and says much of the process of passing legislation was all about winning the election. I think that's pretty common in all places, but let me continue reading this. When he slammed Trump and endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris for president in 2024, that swiftly ostracized Duncan from the Georgia GOP. He says life immediately after being kicked out of the Georgia GOP was turbulent, as I was talking about earlier before I started reading this. There was a lot of folks that used to wave at us driving down the streets, neighbors and friends who stopped waving. But to flip side, there's a lot more than starting open up their eyes and talking to us and cheering us on. Duncan knows he's going to get pushback from some of his Republican friends, but he hopes it's friendly. As far as pushback from Democrats, he's been welcomed with open arms, and that he learned the value of working across the aisle during his time in office. Now here's my thing. Here's my thing with this, y'all. And I hope I'm in conversations with a couple of individuals who are elected officials who were Republicans that left the party. One of them had switched to the Democratic Party. One is an independent that's getting support from the Democrats. I'll say that. My issue is I just hope it's authentic and it's not just for an election, okay? Because even though at the time he was not an elected official when he started to speak against Trump and this and the other, Georgia has a governor's race coming up. Georgia has a governor's race coming up. He obviously doesn't have support from the GOP if he had thought, because he was a former lieutenant governor. It's common that a lot of former lieutenant governors will end up running for the governor's race. I mean, for the governor's seat. So former lieutenant governor, former Republican, openly endorses a Democrat. Okay, the GOP pushes you out. So now, boom, there goes your backing if you ever think about running for a higher office. You wouldn't be able to run as an independent because you see now this, how hard it is for independent candidates to make it very far, which is still baffles me because majority of Americans are independents, but they don't openly they don't show that when it comes to their voting stats. But but now that he is a Democrat, he's running. He hasn't announced that he's running, but it makes more perfect sense. I mean, there's a gentleman in Florida who was a former, oh my goodness, he was a former Florida congressman. Let's see here. He was a former congressman who was David Jolly. David Jolly was a former Republican congressman out of Florida from 2014 to 2020 from 2014 to 2017. He had then left the Republican Party. He's now registered Democrat. He's running for governor of the state of Florida. So again, is there a method to Geoff Duncan's madness? Is it a reason? Is it a specific reason why he's doing this, or is he just said, I've just finally seen the light? I have to leave this party. This is not the party for me. I don't know. But I tell you one thing, though, I will continue talking about this because this is a really juicy discussion for me. I love hearing all these party switchings. I'm fascinated with this. So I'm going to talk a little more about this probably on our social media as well as on our Substack. I'll put a piece out hopefully a little later on that. But I want to real quick, because I'm looking at my time. I'm running out of time here. Let me see if I have a little time to share this funny clip right here. So recently, a conservative talk host, Alex Stein, he hosts a program on Glenn Beck's channel or channel Blaze TV. He recently crashed an MSNBC interview. Let me see if I can play it for you real quick.
We just watched the speaker gavel out with a whole lot of anger, Kelly. Here's the state of play. Here's
MSNBC sucks.
Hey, how are you?
MSNBC sucks.
Talk to you for a second.
MSNBC sucks.
Okay. Sometimes this happens, and we understand that can happen. And while we love free speech, we're going to keep control here. So, Ryan, thank you. Shaq, thank you. A volatile story. We'll be following it. And apparently, not only Shaq cleaned up. Okay. Stay with us here because Ryan has cleared the set, as we would like to say. The gentleman moved on. So, Ryan, let me turn back to you. Nicely handled there. Can you give us an update on, as you were walking us through this, we'll all take a breath there. Maybe not. Okay. Go ahead, Ryan. See,
hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
We just watched this.
Okay. We're just going to pull the plug there. Thank
Kelly,
you,
this
Ryan.
is all playing out in real time.
It sure
Passion is high.
Yes.
There's a whole lot of anger here, as you can see. So we're going to get a control of this and come back to you when we can.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And we recognize people are expressing their views, and we're there to cover it. You do that job. We'll move on with our audience. Thanks for your patience with all of that.
So that, my friends, was the gentleman's name is Alex Stein. Alex Stein. Not trying to give him a platform by all means, because I'll just be honest. Glenn Beck, and I'm a person, I support a lot of I support really all media. I'm advocate for free speech, as long as it's not hate speech. And that's the thing. They tote that line, they meaning the far right, they tote that line of hate speech, in my opinion. Folks like a Glenn Beck and everybody, most folks that are on his platform, I mean, come on. Blaze TV is the one that houses the program. I don't know the name of it, but it's hosted by Jason Whitlock. Enough said. I know, enough said. But Alex Stein has, garnered a career for being a very controversial. Apparently, he's a comedian, conservative media personality. He crashed that conversation for on MSNBC. To me, extremely disrespectful. That's the kind of trash that has breeded from this whole MAGA era. Just folks disrespecting others, not letting folks getting any word across. First of all, I take it that he's not doing, his show's not doing as good as if he has the time to just crash other people's shows. Because see, that's the thing. He wants to be relevant. If MSNBC sucks, why are you wasting time even making an appearance on there, buddy? You literally was trying to force yourself on to be on camera on MSNBC, the same channel that you say MSNBC sucks. I mean, oh, like that really hurt. Like that really hurt. He was eventually escorted out, but the funny thing is, he's been known for being, again, a controversial individual, someone that had been suspended before. He he shares his opinions a lot on as far as on the on other issues. Oh man, I'm looking at my time. Running out of time. Jeez, that's what you happen when you're fighting against the clock. But long story short, y'all, he's a clown. Okay, he's a person that obviously just wanted to be relevant, and yeah, he got his little 15 seconds of fame there on MSNBC. So yeah, let's see how they use that clip. Hopefully they use it to help with the I don't know. It's interesting. But anyway, y'all, thank you again for staying with us here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Please be sure to tune into the program weeknights, available on all digital and streaming platforms, as well as on the radio airwaves. Peace and blessing, y'all. Y'all stay safe out there, stay informed, and yeah, be ready. Come November, some big elections happening. So continue to do your information on your elected officials and who's running and who's wanting to make an impact in your community. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.